What's up, YouTube? First of all, I want to talk about how to match a fragrance to your personality, which is actually one of the most important things if we're talking cologne. Because we have our different categories. Now, like the nighttime fragrances tend to be more romantic. And like if you're the dater and the more romantic person, you might want a more seductive type of fragrance. Like, first of all, here is a bold scent. I got Gucci Envy. Envy for Men, it's the green juice. You know, this is a good clubbing scent. I mean, it really does attract a lot of people. And unfortunately, they did discontinue this one, so definitely one of my favorites. Another one, Pure Malt. Now, this one by Thierry Mugler is a great fragrance. It has, you know, some tropical fruits and a very fruity, almost malty, boozy concoction. And it really does magic. I mean, women love that scent. It's like the most phenomenal cologne ever made. I don't think there's a lot of stuff like it. And, you know, those are good clubbing scents. And Lolita Olympica. Now, this is bold. This is kind of maybe a little bit like Le Male. It definitely does have that vanilla feel to it. But this one, they add some licorice. And it's kind of amped up with licorice. So if you have the chemistry, then this can work. Now, you know, I've definitely smelled it. I've definitely used this a few times. It's mostly a nighttime scent, but like if you're the partier, this may be something you want to look into. You know, if you like to go clubbing and you're in a cold weather environment, you know, you have like cold nights going out to the clubs, that is a very invigorating, warming scent. And it has, you know, kind of a licorice tone to it. It's a gourmand kind of scent. So some people are going to like it and some won't. And, you know, if you just want the classic, you know, you like Acqua di Gio and the fresh citrus and you don't want too much, like, heaviness, Very Sexy for Him by Victoria's Secret. Now, this is, you know, maybe for a more reserved person, but it really has a very nice smell to a lot of people. Very aromatic, but the citrus in this is very well done. I wear this to work sometimes, you know, definitely good scent strength. It's in the middle, but it does project if you add some more. I mean, you can definitely go crazy with this one. It will turn some heads. I mean, those are some scents that, honestly, like base notes tends to rank highly. And Corduroy by Zur. Now, I got the tester, did not buy the 4-ounce new in box because, you know, basically no point paying $10 more for a cap. I'm going to buy another cologne tester. And, you know, Corduroy has some comparisons to Bulgari Black, but this one is a perfect daytime scent, and it's just the right scent strength. It's not too strong, but a lot of people love the way it smells, and the dry down is really nice and powdery, and it has some vanilla in it, and people compare it to Le Male. But this one is more wearable, and it's less offensive, and overall, I mean, it's a good college scent. So, it's just a list of a few that, you know, are good if you want to get attention, like in a good way. Now, matching the personality, this is where we're going to go. Because first of all, if you're looking for a good scent, just for any average person, most people are going to want, you know, a pleasant, aquatic, and fresh fragrance. Whereas if you're the more bold person, you might like Lolita Olympica, and you might like more loud fragrances. And this is where you might want to play with your colognes a little bit, and you might want something that pushes the envelope a little bit. And that way, you know, people can know that you're in the room. And like World Extension, very strong fragrance. This is a perfume shop scent. It's very heavy, and it's okay worn lightly. It's one of those scents that they sell in the 3-ounce bottles. They tend to be strong. Now, some of them can smell really good. And this is one that when you get into the dry down, the toffee and the vanilla and the woods actually make this one good when you smell. But it's extremely strong, extremely sweet. So, I mean, it's very loud and it will get noticed. Sometimes in a good way and sometimes not. And Jopon. Now, Jupe, I have been using a good bit of this juice. I actually like this one a lot. It's more of a cold winter scent, but it's a very bold kind of fragrance. And it's really, it's so bold. Some people like it, some people hate it. It's very loud, and it's in your face. Another one is 1 Million by Paco Rabanne. Now, I didn't own this one, and I'm probably not going to buy it because it's basically, it smells like Tidlapis Black Stone. I own that, and I think it's better. So, yeah, Black Excess. Again, this one is very loud, but this one is extremely playful. It kind of has maybe a little bit of a bubblegum feel like 1 Million, but this one's done better. And overall, Black Excess is an extremely complex smell, but it's kind of sweet, and it has a lot of different notes that almost give a fruity smell. But this one is extremely unique, and it never smells the same on each person. So Black Excess is really the way to go if you want a bold kind of fragrance to really make an entrance. And also, Xerius Rouge by Givenchy is also a Base Notes Award winner. It's a very bold fragrance, so that's another one. And you know, if you want bold in a good way, Hane Mori HM is good juice. And this stuff has a touch of chocolate, kind of some vanilla going in there, and it has a nice woodsy base, but this one's extremely unique. You will never imagine the way it smells just by the notes in it. It really does magic. And it's one of those kinds of fragrances that you can never go wrong with, you know, unless you put too much on. And overall, if you want the classic style, just like any average guy who just wants to smell nice and clean, now this is what most people want. And they don't want to make too much of a statement. They don't want cologne that will permeate. You know, some people can pull that off and some people can't. So in that case, you know, Thallium Sport, it kind of has a citrusy vibe to it. And, you know, some florals. It's a very fresh, maybe kind of sweet scent. It has some Oriole notes to heaten it up, but it really works quite well. And it's highly rated too, so, you know, it's good for the money. And Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue and Acqua di Gio. These are two best sellers. Now, honestly, you know, I don't wear these that much, but like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue is a nice, you know, kind of understated fragrance if that's what you want. I mean, a lot of people do like that one. And Acqua di Gio definitely has a very aromatic kind of vibe to it with a touch of fruit and citrus. And Unforgivable kind of follows in that lines too, except they have a little more of an aromatic feel. It's a little sweeter, whereas Acqua di Gio isn't. But, you know, they have that kind of tendency. And Echo, to some people this is like Windex, a very cheap soap, and some other people it's a great smell. So it's a very contemporary kind of fresh fragrance. And, you know, there's also reserved ones too. Like, the Burberrys tend to make more understated colognes. Like, Burberry Weekend's kind of a sweet, fruity base, and you have some honey in it that heats it up. But this one is very understated. And, you know, you see the notes in the back, and basically it doesn't have too much exotic stuff. It's not a very sensual fragrance. It's just, you know, a good daytime kind of fragrance. Now, Touch, on the other hand, does have some of this stuff. And if you can see, I have been using this juice. This is a 3-ounce bottle, and, you know, basically this one's a little more heat to it. And great smell. Definitely would love to buy this one again. It's a very well-made fragrance, and for any average person, that is a good buy. Now, Rocawear 99, this one is extremely fresh. It kind of smells funny when you spray it out of the bottle. It has a weird citrus vibe, but when you actually let this stuff dry down, it warms up into a nice woodsy base, so it's pretty conventional, and it's like a lot of fragrances. And, you know, if you want a typical fragrance, Gucci by Gucci. Now, this stuff has a great smell. It's a very rich, woodsy Chapeur. And this is very masculine. A lot of people absolutely love this one. And this is actually the aftershave, but it still lasts for an aftershave. It's very high quality. And like Tattoo by Inky or the Ed Hardys are definitely reserved scents, and, you know, they're kind of fresh. Now, I don't feel like buying Love and Luck because its lasting power just doesn't cut it. So, you know, I found this, and it's actually maybe better in some ways. and they're actually marketing more of these. So they're actually starting a scent line that actually copies Ed Hardy and then makes better smelling products. Now, this is where we want to look at what are we wearing the fragrance. Because if you want to see something, if you want something for a date, Armani Code is one fragrance you want to wear. Or maybe Escada Magnetism. Now, Magnetism has a good musky base with some woods, and it has some saffron and Toulouse balsam, and this one is very unique. And they created something else making it. It's probably the best Escada. On the other hand, you got John Varvatos. Now, this one is like a Fig Newton cookie, and it has some rich woods in it and some vanilla that comes out. It's a very sweet, woodsy kind of scent. But if you have dry skin, don't even buy this because it won't last. Try the scented roll-ons. But one scent that, hit or miss, Versace Dreamer. Versace Medusa in the front, and see this one? First I thought this was a cap, almost broke it, but then found, it's pretty well. It opens up like Le Male, but then the tobacco comes out. With this one, if you like tobacco, you're on a date with somebody who loves tobacco, this is the way to go. Now, some people it smells like cheap cigarettes too, but it can work in a lot of cases. But basically, with the personality, you want to look at what suits your needs when you're buying a cologne. Because you can see in base notes, there's something that everybody raves about, and then it turns out to not be nearly what it's made out to be. So, now, the last one that's one of my favorites, and I was talking about 1 Million before, Ted Lapidus Black Soul. And this one is a good buy. It really has a great rich smell. It's like 1 Million, except it's a little less sweet. It has more spice, and it's a much richer, more masculine smell. And it really does smell elegant. So this one is definitely a good nighttime clubbing scent. And it's you can wear it to work if you wear it lightly. It's definitely worthy of money. And Gucci by Gucci, Gucci Pour Homme 2. But this juice, the purple juice, definitely is a good, spicy, exotic tea scent. And the notes in this are great. Now, the lasting power could be better, but 6-7 sprays of this will probably last you a pretty good amount of time. I mean, this stuff is a good fragrance, and it really does a good job for what it's supposed to do. And basically, the Gucci's make good, rich date night scents. They're not really good at making the fresh stuff. The fresh stuff is where you want to go for Polo Blue and Cool Water. But, if you're looking for more of a nighttime reserve fragrance, you want to look in the woods direction and the spices. And if you're looking more for a romantic date night clubbing scent, you want to look more into the sweets. And if you're looking for a good clubbing scent that'll turn heads, you want to look for the base notes winners, and you want to get some actual voices on Fragrantica to tell you what will turn heads. Because you can buy a lot of stuff and find that that's what everybody else has. But Pure Malt tends to be a winner here. I mean, this stuff definitely worth every cent. Even if it's in a little decant, that thing will last you a long time, and you'll have lots of good experiences. And another one, Allure Pour Homme. Now, this one is very good juice, and it has a lot of qualities. It may have some freshness, it has some sweetness, it has some warmth to it, it has kind of a macho quality, but it's very rich, full-bodied fragrance. And this one is perfect for a date. Couldn't be better. I mean, this stuff you can wear to a club. And, when you see on some sites saying do this for office wear, no way. This stuff is strong. I don't think I'm wearing this anywhere I'm working unless the boss wants me in their office. Unless I hate the job that much. But, Fierce by Abercrombie & Fitch is another scent. It's really bold and will turn heads. And this stuff really has a great citrus. It's such a fresh citrus and like an aphrodisiac musk. And then it has, kind of a sweet tone to it. I think they put some vanilla. Some places will say there's vanilla, but it's all so well blended that this juice kicks. I mean, this stuff will deliver like A lot of clones don't. Whereas, if you want like more reserved, Moody Issy is kind of the amped up version of Acqua di Gio, because they both have kind of sour vibes to them, and they both have that very aromatic aquatic, but this stuff has more woods to it, more exotic notes to it, whereas this stuff has more aromatic spices and a touch of fruit and just a touch of air, but they both have a different feel, but they're kind of similar. And Issey Miyake has a lot more spice. It's a woodsy, spicy Oriental aquatic because it has a lot of very exotic ingredients. And in this one, it definitely smells pretty strong. I mean, this stuff really does kick. And, it has a very aquatic kind of vibe. It's a very invigorating aquatic with some spice, and you get the yuzu and a lot of the notes that Issey Miyake put in this fragrance that haven't been used in a lot of other stuff, and then it has some florals. So this one definitely has a good matrix to it, and it's a good background scent, and it does deliver very well. And basically, it all depends on what your needs are, and it depends on what you want to wear, because certain scents invoke a good response, and they really make you feel better smelling something. And if you want like chocolate, Kanemori HM and Amen and Animale Anima all have chocolate in them, and they're pretty well done for the chocolate. And Roca's chocolate is also good, but it's very expensive and it's discontinued. So, if you want coffee, then Roca Man is good. And Amen has some coffee in it, but the Roca is the best one. And if you want like raspberry, then Feel for Life is a good choice. And if you want licorice, then you want to look no further than Lolita Lempica. And Lolita Lempica is purely one of the best Anise fragrances, along with Feel for Life. And basically, if you want certain notes, now food notes can help a cologne, and they can also hurt it at the same time. So it's important to just, look around. You'll find a lot of different things.